And we're going live on another Monday here. Tarot Today Live. Yay. Hey, Mary.
Yay. Hey, Dax. Hey, everybody. Happy Psychic Monday.
We got to think of something special for Monday.
I know.
We've had the Psychic Saturday thing for like, I don't know, umpteen years. And
I know. It's like Happy Monday. Does anybody say that? Does anybody feel that? Happy Monday.
Right. Maybe happy's not the right term, but
yeah. Just Monday.
Welcome to YouTube only Monday. That's the only thing I could think of. Yeah. I see Sharon's in the chat and Laura. Laura got in first, Laura. Sharon, she beat you. How's everybody doing prizes today? Yes. Wouldn't that be the coolest thing?
Yeah.
I would just love that. Oh, I see your clock's back. Thank God.
Yes, my astrological clock. It is I don't know what time it is, but yeah, it's back, and it's a couple minutes past Aries.
It's a couple minutes past Aries, everybody. It's the astro clock. I'm going to call it the astro clock.
It glows in the dark too. Crazy.
Absolutely. Oh my God. Yeah. So in case you haven't noticed, I've got new glasses. I'm all excited.
I like those. Those are pretty spiffy.
Yeah.
You can see us now.
It was so hard to pick them out too, because they have like I think I did iBuy Direct. That's where I get all my glasses. Like this is my old pair, and see they're like really narrow. And you can't put progressives in those. And I decided to go completely the opposite way, big, like looking through windows, because I switched to progressives so that now I can see far away, close up, and also that mid area where the computer screen is. Because normally on these shows, if I'm wearing those glasses, I have to do this or this. And or take them off and just like, lean in to see the screen, and then if I'm wearing contacts, I have to put the readers on. You know how Jason loves my red Jesse Raphael.
Sally Jesse Raphael.
I couldn't say it. Anyway. Yeah. So I decided to get something different and something where I can, I don't know, actually see,
There's a novel idea.
That's one of the other nice things about getting old, Mary, is that you just don't really care anymore. And it's like, when before it was all about fashion and, what looks good. And now it's like functionality. It's like, can I see the bloody computer screen and also see the cards if I look down, because they're closer, and also see far away? And I can.
I don't know, though. I'll tell you, I think it really depends on the person, because like, I kind of thought that too. I thought like, okay, you reach a certain age and like, you don't care about all of that anymore. You can just relax and just worry about like what works, what matters, all of that stuff. But, I'll tell you, when I was working in Hollywood, that was not the case. It was not the case at all.
Oh, no.
And
especially
people
Hollywood.
Are really older stars. I won't name names, but whoa.
But we could.
Really, we could. But well, okay. One name. I got like spanked almost. It felt like a verbal spanking by Anne Margaret, because I called her
really?
Yeah, because I called her a legend, and I thought it was a compliment. I was like, wow, you're such a legend, and she's like, oh, I'm not that old. I'm not 100. And I was like, what did I do? I'm so sorry.
You got the
like, whoa.
You got the Anne spank. Oh my God.
I'll tell you. But because I was thinking like, look at her in those Elvis movies, and like, wow, like that's a legend. She was like the hot ticket. She was the sex kitten and all of that. And I don't know. I guess I didn't realize that like when you're that, and then, as you get older, maybe you're not seen that way anymore. That like, depending on your personality, that can like be a, I don't know, a thing.
Well, I disagree. I disagree with her. I don't think legend status has anything to do with
Yeah,
age even. It's like, I mean, if you've been in 50 films, you've been in 50 films, even if you're only 38 still, you're
exactly.
a legend.
Yeah, or like having those, very like memorable roles. Yeah,
Mm.
absolutely.
Laura says, I was on vacation last week, so this is an especially Monday-ish Monday for me. Uh-oh.
Aw. Oh no.
Uh-oh.
That's
Yes,
so
but
funny.
everybody else, well, not everybody, because nowadays, is the work week even a real thing anymore? But yeah, I guess maybe a percentage of the world goes back to work on Monday. Me,
Yeah.
I never stop working, so there's no demarcation for me at all. In fact, I lose track of day. If it wasn't for the radio shows and the YouTube lives, I wouldn't know what day it is.
See, Monday's like my Friday because I take Tuesday off and then I take Fridays off.
Mm,
So, like I decided like, okay, now I can choose. So I always hated working
yeah.
on Fridays.
Oh,
It's like, come on, get
but
me out
people
of
think,
here.
so a lot of people aren't happy, but really it's a new opportunity. Oh,
Yeah.
and that's actually in some of the numerology. I'll tell you in a little bit. But what cards of the day did you get, Mary?
Oh wow. Well, it was so cool. Like one, I'm using the Surrealist Tarot by from Los Scarabeo. It came out like I think 2001.
Oh, I
Um,
love the
artwork
sacred
that's
geometry. Look at that.
and the artwork is so incredible by Luigi Di Giamarino. And the card I got from that deck was the Six of Cups. It's a Surrealist Tarot, so it's very different looking, gorgeous. But the Six of Cups. So the interesting thing about that is like sometimes with the Six of Cups, we think of it as like nostalgia and kind of looking back. Sometimes we can idealize the past, particularly when we're thinking of relationships. Sometimes we just remember the good times and not remember why that relationship ended. But, for today, the Six of Cups is saying like examine your roots, appreciate the lessons that you learned, right? That's what I got from that card. And then the other card comes from the Power of the Elements deck by Cassie White. And that card, you know, so like examine, the lessons that you've learned, think of your roots, that kind of thing I get with the Six of Cups. And then I get this card of life lessons. And the
Mm.
message here blew my mind because it's about acknowledging and releasing those things, releasing the past so that you can go forward and have like a sense of renewal, you know, because like sometimes we hold on too tightly,
Yes.
to our past experiences. And we extrapolate the lessons from that, and then we're like, okay, this is the narrow field that I'm in, and these are my rules because I learned these lessons. And this is saying like acknowledge it, appreciate it, and then let it go. So, you
Mm.
know, you can go on to some new things in your life, But that's what I got. What did you
Oh,
get, and what are the numbers for today? I'm really
well, the
curious.
date reduces to one, which is those new beginnings. That's what I was
Ah,
getting at. Yeah, it's really cool. Gosh, I think all month it's been that way, where Monday had a one in it, either from the date or the day. The day is the 17th, so 1 + 7, 8. Abundance. Yes, we've been getting abundance as the number on Saturdays and some Mondays,
mm,
which has been really, really exciting. And I pulled the Hierophant card, which is 5, which is change. That kind of fits in with what you were talking about, and what I want to talk about with this card as well. I think it fits. So, you know, the Hierophant card, this is one of those kind of cards in the deck that are kind of stuffy, you know. And the meanings that are normally ascribed are like all over the place. And it often talks about higher learning. And, you know, if you think about it, new beginnings, the one energy with the 8 energy of abundance, you know, well, what can you learn today? I mean, that's a really good thing. But it's also about, you know, institutions and structures and traditions, things like that. So kind of the message I'm getting from that, Mary, is that you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You know, you see somebody successful doing what you want to do or very similar to it. You know, you can emulate what they're doing. You can, you know, study what they do, and all the great things they're doing, you can replicate. And the nice thing about being on the outside is you can look in and go, oh, and then these are the things that they're doing wrong. And you can do it better or different, you know. So that's a lot of the message that's coming through here. But also the thing I want to talk about is duality. You see the 2 pillars there, and this is in a lot of tarot. In fact, let me go back up top here. I'm going to show you some of the cards. It's all throughout. It's all throughout the deck. So like the High Priestess card has the 2 pillars. Hers are black and white, you know, really showing the duality. And then look, the Justice card, the 2 pillars and balance. There's a whole thing going on about duality and balance in the tarot. In fact, I just thought of a card that I didn't pull out of the deck that I should have.
Temperance.
And the yes, and also the 6 of Pentacles has the scales too. All the cards with the scales, even the moon, look, has 2 pillars or 2 watchtowers. And then minor arcana cards like, well, the 2 of Pentacles, the 2 of Cups, basically all the 2s. And then even the Chariot. You got the black and white sphinxes. They're going off in different directions, and the whole, you know, part of the concept anyway of the card is you know, holding the reins and keeping them together because they want to fly off in different directions. And then cards like the Lovers card have implied dualities, you know, with the male and the female, and the same characters, of course, showing up on the Devil card. And then these 2 cards are actually, which I'm messing up with the camera here. These 2 cards are a duality in themselves. You know, it's the kind of like the positive and the negative of those cards there. So I just wanted to mention that and this duality. And of course, we're always talking about balance and everything on the show. But I want you today, I want you to look at something a little differently as you go through the day. So we have a tendency to label things. So tarot cards, we put meanings on them when they actually have a spectrum of meaning. Same thing with the numbers in numerology. They are a spectrum of meaning. And then when things happen in our life, we want to label them. So this is a good thing that happened. Oh, this is a bad thing that happened. And we're ignoring what is happening on the other side, because there's always good with the bad, bad with the good. So today, as things happen, and maybe through the week, when you feel the tendency to label this, I'm having a good time, this is exciting, this is fun, this is a good thing that happened, etc., look for the other side. And then if you're tempted to label something as a bad happening, what good is happening at the same time? Just a little exercise that's going to help you in balancing things out. It's perspective, and it's also just awareness. And the thing is, this is what the universe does. If you're not aware of it, it'll just enforce it. So this way we gain a little bit more control through our awareness. You know, you don't really have to actually do anything, just acknowledging the positive and the negative, because everything in the universe is duality. So anyway, that's what I got. I thought I'd do a quick little chat about all that, because that's some of the stuff that we never talk about on the show much, that, hey, there's other stuff going on with the tarot.
Yeah. No, I like that. That's pretty cool. I'm gonna try that today because
Yeah.
there is always
And it's
I had
hard.
it is hard. What's funny is like it it sounds totally unrelated, but it made me think of like the experience I had yesterday, right? Because
Mhm.
I live in Texas. Okay. And so I like biscuits and gravy, right? You talk about duality. There's the biscuits, there's the gravy. That's what I thought of talking about this. And I made it for the first time yesterday, right?
Oh,
But I did I cheated. I cheated a lot. I didn't use that bacon fat and all the grease and all of that. I really cheated. But I also cheated on the biscuits and just got like a package of Grants, but I got the honey butter flavor because I wasn't paying attention. I never buy biscuits, so I didn't realize there were like all these different flavors. And so it had like that little sweet edge, but otherwise it was really good. So
mm,
when you were talking about the good and the bad, I was like, yeah, there was both of that going on with my biscuits and gravy,
yeah.
but otherwise it turned out really good. I actually made gravy, like biscuit gravy,
Wow.
like that white stuff with sausage everywhere.
It doesn't matter how small the thing is or how big the thing is. You know,
Mm.
it could be really tiny or it could be something huge like, okay, 9/11 happens. Oh my God, huge disaster. But then when you look beyond it, you see all these things going on. People were, the planes were grounded. People were stranded at airports in foreign cities, and the locals took them into their homes and fed them and gave them someplace to
Yeah.
sleep. And all this positive stuff is happening when this massive negative thing is happening. It's
Right.
always happening, whether it's that or your
Yeah.
gravy.
Or my gravy. And my gravy was killer, man. My gravy was like on point. I'll
Mm.
admit it was
I
on
had some
point.
killer gravy last night. Guess what happened? I don't know if you remember on Saturday, but KFC came up.
Yes. Yeah. So you went and
We
wanted
ended up
gravy.
having KFC. We had the mashed potatoes, and their gravy's really good.
Mm. I
Yeah.
love their coleslaw.
And the coleslaw. We had the coleslaw. Oh
Ah,
my
you're making
God.
me hungry.
Again. Okay, this is gonna be a short show, folks, because we got to go eat.
I know.
So let's see
Starving.
who all's popping in the chat. Of course, we don't have the phone lines today, which means it's all
Mm.
about you guys in the chat. And if you want us to pull a card for you, something general, just say, hey, please pull a card for me. If you have a very specific question, type the question in now in the chat. And you don't have to get on a list or anything like that. Just type it in. We got a Sen Oz. Oh, I love that. What a nice name. I love that name.
Oh, people.
Hitesh is
Nice.
back. Hitesh is back.
Cool.
Ren is back. Ingrid
Hey, man.
popped in. Hi, Ingrid. I haven't had an Ingrid.
Hi. I love that. Like
Wow,
Ingrid Bergman.
that is so
Great name.
cool. We were just talking about legends of the
Hmm.
screen. Let's see who has a question. I think Ascended. Oh yeah. Is there any chance of a love connection between Mr. Abong and me? It's like Abong. Abong.
Mr.
Is
Abong.
yes.
Any
Okay.
chance of a love connection? I like that. Who did you want to go first?
Yes.
I go first. Okay.
I'm
You,
actually I'm ready. I don't even have to pull all the card. I was gonna pull my normal 5 card yes, no spread. Don't
mhm.
even need to. Right away. Death card and major arcanas are yes anyway. But there's a transition going on here. And then the star card pops in just to like literally answer your question. It's the hope card. It's like, yes, yes. So that's 2 yeses. And then I got 3 yeses. So I just stopped there. I didn't even bother to do all 5 because look how powerful that is, 10 of Pentacles. So, and this is, a family. This is legacy. I really think there's a good opportunity with Mr. Abong. What about you,
Abong.
Mary?
Well, okay. So, I got some really great cards for this, really. Um, the Page of Cups comes up, so there's like that interest, the Page of Cups is like, okay, let's explore this. You
Mm.
know, and the Hierophant, which is actually one of the cards I see is like sometimes every once in a while representing marriage, but we don't have to go that far. Um, and then also the Six of Wands, so that card of like getting the attention and being appreciated, right? All of those are good. The card that's a central focus card though is the Seven of Cups. So I feel like, keep your options open. I feel like this would take some time. The Seven of Cups can be a card sometimes of like indecision, procrastination, you know. Uh, so while, there's that kind of time period where things are kind of just being explored and it's not really, officially happening yet, don't put all your eggs in the abong basket, keep your options open. And then this card at the end is very interesting. There may be something lacking here. Okay, the Five of Pentacles. Now, in relationship readings, right? I don't always feel like the Five of Pentacles represents like a money issue. Sometimes it can say like money's tight, and so maybe we don't want to wine and dine anybody right now. That can affect a relationship reading in that way. But also sometimes the Five of Pentacles can just represent like a lack of confidence, you know. So you want to make sure that Mr. Bug knows that you're interested, because he may
Mm.
not have the confidence to kind of see that you would be attracted to him. So that's just something to keep in mind. You don't have to like lay it on too heavy or anything, but also you know be patient with it, and at the same time keep your options open.
Awesome. Thanks
Hope
for the
that helps.
question. Hope that helped you out. Yeah. Be sure to hit the subscribe button, folks, and click that bell icon so you're notified when we do our lives and post other content here on the channel.
Yeah.
Speaking of the channel, there is a lot of other fantastic longer form videos, workshops,
Mm.
interviews, all available on our channel, including our past lives too. I'm going to tell you something about the lives because we're doing the readings and everything like that. But there are nuggets of really great information that come out in the lives, and they are all recorded. They're all available on the channel. But check out the workshops, check out the interviews. We have some deck reviews on there as well, and we're going to try to get a whole lot more of that on there. Let's see what else. Let's see who else. I know Hitesh said something here. Lord Krishna, message for me. And then it's interesting because somebody else said the same thing. Did we lose them? Huh.
What did
Uh,
they say? What?
mentioning one of the one of the Indian deities. I thought there was somebody
Oh,
else, but it might all be Hitesh. Hitesh is kind of like going a little crazy spamming here, and thankfully Laura popped in and said, "Hey, there's no need to spam the chat. Put it in once, and we'll get to it."
yeah.
Let me
Oh,
make
so
sure.
wanting to, it's so like a message from spirit, but in this case, Lord Krishna specifically.
Right. He also mentions, or she mentions, I'm sorry, I don't know, uh, says it Krishna. And I'm wondering if that's just a different spelling of Krishna. I think it might be. Yeah. And Ingrid is going on a trip. She's got a question. But first up, we're going to do a message for Hitesh. And you're up next,
Wonderful.
Mary. What do you
Okay.
got for Hitesh here?
For Hitesh, like in the form of, gosh, Hitesh, I have to tell you, I have, and I don't have it handy, but I have this beautiful oracle deck based on the Ramayana. which if you haven't seen it, look up that deck. I forget who did it, but if you look up the Ramayana deck, the Rama deck, I think is what it's called. It's so beautiful. Anyways, and I'm just going to use my messages from heaven communication cards deck, because I feel like that's a great deck to get a message from the higher realms. So Lord Krishna, message from spirit, however we want to look at that. And sometimes when people ask for a message from a loved one who's passed, it's a great deck for that too. But let's see what message just comes up for you on this. I love this. And the message is, you are a star. Step into the spotlight where you belong.
Ooh.
So Hitesh, what are you hiding your light under a bushel, as the saying goes? Why you have to kind of take some time and kind of look at like the ways in which you're shining and the ways in which you're not shining, because you're a star. Step into the spotlight. That's where you belong. What kind of star are you? What are you really good at? Or what's your passion? And what do you love to do? And are you sharing that with other people and putting that out in the world? We want to know what you're so good at. But
oh
that's
my
the
God,
message
Mary.
that I got. What'd you get, Dax?
That is just perfect, because it just fits in perfectly with what I got. And you just mentioned the world, and that's what I got, was the world card. And wow. I had the exact same message coming through, the same feeling as you. Are you shining your light? The whole world is open to you. And this is card 21. So 2 + 1 is 3. It's creativity and communication. It's tapping into your creativity and communication. And speaking of communication, we are lucky to live in an era where we can work throughout the entire world from the comfort of our home or office, or but literally your bedroom. And you can be in India, and you can be in New York City, and you can be in Hong Kong, and you can be in Toronto, and you can be in Sydney. It doesn't matter where you are in the world, and take advantage of that. And then I got a second card as a kind of little qualifier here to that message. And it's the 7 of Pentacles. So take a look, evaluate what's going on. Say big picture time, take a step back and look at what you're doing, or more importantly, what you're not doing, and really put your light out into the world, shine the light out. Awesome sauce.
Wow.
Well, hey, while I'm up here, Mary, before we go
yes.
to the next question, let me do our quick messages here. I wanted to mention that this coming Sunday, Sharona on the Magic Universe show. By the way, Sharona hasn't been around for a couple of shows. I've noticed that. She's having back on her previous guest, author Susan Wands, who's doing the Arcana Oracle series. The Magician and the Fool was the first one that came out, and she had Susan on back then. And the next 2 are about to launch. And so I'm sure that's what they're going to be talking about on Sunday, April 23rd, this coming Sunday. Just wanted to mention that. And don't forget, on the same day is our free workshop. And this is for tarot advisors as well as any spiritual entrepreneur, how to build consistency and brand awareness with multiple streams of income, on Sunday, April 24th. So Sharona's show is at 2 p.m. Eastern US time, New York City time. And then this workshop is at 4 p.m. It's via Zoom, and you can get the link on the Tarot Guild website, thetarotguild.com. Also, you can book a private reading with either Mary or myself for just $44.44. 44. I just love that. You'll find that at tarottoday.live, www.tarottoday.live. That URL will take you right over there. And we just started offering that. This is just for the viewers of our YouTube lives, listeners of our radio shows, a little special for y'all. So go and check that out. You can book a session with Mary, book a session with me. And the way you do it is there are messaging buttons there. So you just send us a message and we'll make arrangements, for the fee and for when we're going to meet up and everything. And they can be live, they can be Zoom, and a whole lot of other ways. I'm sure, I know Mary and I both have a lot of ways. So just hit the message button, message Dax, message Mary. And then you can also, at the bottom of that page, tarottoday.live, you'll see our tip jar. You can get us a cup of coffee. We would love that. We love coffee. And in fact, I ran out of time and I couldn't grab my cup of coffee. I got my water here, but we got to rush through this show so I can get to my coffee. I'm just saying, no, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, but I do want another cup of coffee. And also our tag team readings. We've kind of reinvented our tag team readings a little bit. What do we mean by that? Well, if you've been, watching the show, listening to the show for a long time, Mary and I, you've seen it today. We do these quick little mini readings and both of us put our 2 cents in. 2 heads are better than 1. Well, this is 2 readers. And we have longer sessions available. And we just added this 30-minute private session. You get Mary and I both. That's right. And it's only $99.99. Go check that out. And of course, we want you to come over and join the Tarot Guild. It's free to join the Tarot Guild at thetarotguild.com. But we also have a lifetime membership, and you're basically paid up for life as a member. I include my $297 course free. CTR certifications included free. And when you become a lifetime member, you get 50% off higher levels of certification at the Tarot Guild. So go over and check that out. So there's the messages for today. Mary, I'm
awesome
going to
sauce.
Anything you want to add while I'm looking in the chat? I think Ren.
I got nothing. That was great.
Well, we'll go to the next question.
I'm all for it.
I think Ren's next. Okay, and then Ingrid. Asking for, is there a chance to work in abroad if any job will offer to me? Okay, so
working abroad, and I think it's your turn.
Oh, okay. Sounds good. Okay, let's see what we're getting here. What are we getting here? King of Pentacles. So we got basically the decision maker here. All right. And the 4 of Wands. Yep, that looks very promising. That's a card of celebration. And then the Hermit card. And so the Hermit may indicate a little bit of a delay. There's things that need to be done, but also seeking wise counsel, especially if you're wanting to, physically move abroad to do this. And so who's already done that? It's kind of from the lesson from the cards of the day, the numerology of the day earlier in the show. So who's already done this? Usually in a lot of the countries where people are wanting to take jobs in Japan or Europe or the United States or Canada or whatever, there are specialists that can help you with this as well. But as far as it actually happening, looks pretty good to me. But let's see what Mary's got. What do you got, Mary?
Well, I feel like it looks pretty good too. I think you need more information. And had you done this before? Just asking that because the 6 of Cups comes up here. So again, sometimes that's a card of the day that I got, but sometimes there can be a connection to the past. And I feel like, what's interesting here is with that, I also got the Three of Swords above it. And so with the Three of Swords, sometimes we can have some anguish, like we're like in our head thinking like, maybe we had a past experience that didn't work out, or maybe we tried to do this before, or maybe it's just our thinking that is like kind of, we're kind of talking ourselves out of it or something. We're having some sort of negative thought process with that. So it's saying like, let go of all that. And I got the Magician card. So look, I feel like, yeah, you have the skills, you have the tools you need in order to work abroad, if that's what you want to do. And the Page of Swords, you need more information. Like Dax was saying, you need to be talking to people as well. And I wish Jason was in the chat room, because he he's been
Oh,
living and
wow.
working in Madrid for the last like 15 years. So he might even, have some great insight into that too. But yeah, I think you can do it. I think the opportunity will be there, and you just need to kind of find that, person to talk to that's going to kind of point you in the right direction, and get rid of the negative thought processes about it. If this is what you really want to do, then you
Yeah.
have what it takes to make it happen with that Magician card. So I hope that helps.
Hope that helps you out. Awesome sauce here. I was just trying to bring some stuff up. Okay. And let's see who else has a question. I know Ingrid was next. Hello, I'm leaving on a trip today. I'm partially handicapped in a wheelchair. I'm on my own and have to do this trip for work. Any messages to help?
Mm,
And
wow.
Mary's up
Okay.
first on that one.
Right. So, any messages to help about this?
Any messages at all? Yeah.
Anything. Let's see just what comes up with the tarot. The Knight of Cups comes up. So we have that movement. We have the Six of Wands, and we have the Seven of Wands, Four of Wands, and the Sun card. Hey, look, this looks pretty good. The only card that the Knight of Cups at the central card. I mean, you may, you're on your own. You're doing this. You got the wheelchair and the handy capable. But I understand that. I understand how difficult that can be. I've traveled with relatives that are in a similar situation, but I feel like somebody helpful is going to be on your path. Maybe not just one person either, you know? So I feel like this trip is going to go pretty good with that Sun card. And we end with the Seven of Wands. So I feel like, just be sort of watchful. The Seven of Wands to me, sometimes can be about like, being protective, of ourselves and our space. And so sometimes, we can feel like, okay, we've got to really stand our ground. But, with that Knight of Cups, I feel like, you're going to run into helpful people on this trip that you're going on, and be willing to, accept that help, because it's coming from a good
Yeah.
place with the Knight of Cups. It's coming from the heart, it's sincere. So, but let's see what Dax is getting.
Just practicality wise, planning everything. And then you got the Sun card and I got the Wheel of Fortune card. And look, Mary, the wheel
Right.
from the wheelchair.
Right. Awesome.
This is a great indicator that it's going to go your way for sure. But that was actually the last card I got. The very first card was the Queen of Wands. I want to really celebrate your independence, and you should hold on to that and celebrate your independence. Yes, I agree with Mary. There's going to be people to help, along the way. There always is. I mean, nowadays anyway, airlines, and I don't know if you're going by airline, but, I kind of feel like you are, and I'll tell you why in a sec. But yeah, maintain your independence, and if you plan it out, you can do it yourself with very little help. but don't be afraid to ask for the help. The other thing is, swords are thoughts and ideas. I got the 7 of swords. Unburden yourself from the thoughts and ideas. I think you're overthinking this, and it's going to be fine. It really is. In fact, here's a card of abundance, an 8 card, 8 of wands, and look at the wands flying through the air, so if you're taking airlines, they're going to help. And by the way, it's going to be like over and done with before you know it. And you're going to be like, oh, why was I overthinking that? It was so easy and wonderful. And, a lot of this kind of thing is all about setting intention. When we're going on vacation, Mary, we already have that in our consciousness, and the intention is there. It's like, oh yeah, we're flying down to Florida, we're going to Disneyland, it's going to be fun. And then what happens? We manifest it as fun. Going on a business trip, there's a little, there's potential hiccups because of the disability and the wheelchair and stuff like that, and we start overthinking all of that instead of just thinking, oh, this is going to be fun, I'm getting to fly. Or if you're taking a bus or a car or train, whatever. But I like flying, so it's like, yeah, I mean, it could be the worst thing in my job that I have to go do right now, but if I get on an airplane, I'm going to have a good time. I get to go to Chicago. Really? I get to go over to New Orleans, and actually anything out of Tucson is exciting, folks. I'm just saying.
I think Tucson's pretty exciting.
It is for the rest of the world to come here. I mean, 50 years ago when I lived in Pennsylvania and I was growing up, and you saw the cowboy movies made here in old Tucson, and everybody with their I moved out here. First thing I did was buy a Stetson, and I was in the Air Force. I got stationed at Luke Air Force Base up there, ended up living down here on and off for like 40 years. And as time goes by, it's like, yeah, I want to go to San Diego. I want to go to New York, anyway, but I think it's going to be great, Ingrid. And it's all about, really like setting that intention that it's going to be, let's see if there's any more questions. Oh, I mentioned about things on the website and interviews. I actually have playlists set up for you all to make it easier. And if you click under interviews, you will see the interview I just did with author Nicole Colella, and her new book, Kickstart Your Tarot Business, which just launched like a little over a week ago. And it's a nice little video interview that you can check out, especially if you're a budding professional tarot reader. Let's see. Okay, we're going to take a look here in the chat here. Ren says, thanks so much for your time and energy. Love and light.
Love and light to you too.
Nafisa came in. That's a new one, Nafisa. I don't think we've missed anything. Laura's kind of acting like our
monitor
in the chat there. Yeah,
our hall monitor, our moderator. Awesome. Thanks, Laura.
If you see any reading requests that we missed, just let me know. And also, she asks, did you get my $10.10 cup of coffee last week? I think she's got a rivalry going on with Jay. Jay does 11:11 and she does 10:10.
That's so sweet.
Thank you so much for the coffee. Yes, we did get it, and I forwarded on half of it to Mary.
That's awfully cool. Really sweet.
Yes. Thank you guys very, very much for that. Remember, you can go to www.tarottoday.live, and at the very bottom of the page, you'll see the banner where you can click and send us a cup of coffee. We would love that. I think it was Nafisa that came in more recently. They have a question, and then I think Laura has a question. Okay.
What's the question?
It's one of those things where because it's in text, you got to read it like 3 times before you actually are getting what they're saying here. New here, Will Wahid, it's like Waheed, unblocked me, no contact for 7 months.
So will that change? Will he unblock you?
Yeah.
Is it your turn? I think it's your turn.
I think it's my turn. There's possibility, you know. We start off with the King of Cups. Cups are emotions, and he's off to the left looking to the center. Rushing in from the right into the center is the Knight of Swords. And typically when this card shows up, it's often, it can mean a reconciliation and the other person rushing back in. However, and the King of Cups is talking about emotional stability and all. So, but they're rushing into the center, which is the Five of Cups. And that's the main focus. Okay, so obviously the crying over spilt milk card. Like I said, it could happen. My gut instinct, no. My gut instinct is no. However, if anything, it would be if you turn around and look at the upright cups, if you stop doing the crying over spilt milk aspect of this card, your focus on that will not bring him in real soon. You know, you got to change how you're looking at this, and that's why the King of Cups showed up. It's all getting control of the emotions, focusing on what you really want to happen. Then maybe he will. But the way things sit right now, I'm getting a no on it. But let's see what Mary's getting. She might have advice or see something different.
Okay, well, the cards I got are a little bit different. So the death card comes up in the past position there, and I think that, you know, that just represents like being blocked and having that no contact for seven months, right? And then I go from that, you know, the central focus card is a 7 of Swords. You know, so you know, that 7 of Swords sometimes, you know, it's kind of interesting. Like on just a basic level, sometimes it has to do with like not thinking logically about the situation, but also, you know, that can be a card of deception, you know, and it's surrounded by the 2 of Cups underneath it and the Page of Cups above it. And we end with the 9 of Wands. So look, I don't feel like this is saying like, no, it's not going to happen. But I feel like there's a lack of really being like open and honest, you know, about this. And especially when it comes to emotions, like, you know, did he block you because he didn't want to deal with the emotions he was having? Maybe, you know, is he not able to like express that fully and be honest about how he feels and all of that? So I feel like it's like pulling teeth with Wahid. You know, the 9 of Wands is like, oh, how many battles do we have to go through? So I'd be careful what you wish for with this, because yeah, I think it can happen. Does it look likely? You know, it looks pretty problematic to me, but I also, you know, think like, boy, is that really what you want though? You know, maybe you might deserve someone who can be like more open and forthcoming and straightforward with you. So just some things to consider, and you know, I hope that helps, and I hope you're happy. You know, that's the goal, right? You know, is to be happy, be with people that make you feel happy. That's what you deserve. So thanks for the question.
Awesome. And while I've got you up there, I've got another question, and you're up next. However, see, Johnny Blake came in. Can I get on your free list? There's no list, folks. We've been
No list.
telling you this for
just put your
months.
question in
Just put
the
it in.
comments.
Yeah,
and we'll
and
get to it.
also I heard from Charlotte. I didn't even know you came in, Charlotte, and she actually asked a question too, and I totally missed it. The chat is just zipping by here, so don't worry, Charlotte. We will come back around to yours, but I have these other two, the ones that I had seen, and I want to get them out of the way here. And so for Mary, okay, it's Laura's question. I traveled with a very good friend this past week, but things were pretty tense. Can or should this relationship be continued?
Okay.
Interesting.
Can or should it? What's the advice on continuing this relationship? And looking at that, oh, 3 cups comes up. Okay, it was a little tense. Yeah, I got the 5 of wands in the past position there. A little bit of tension with that. We have the 2 of swords in the outcome position. The temperance card. A 5 of cups. Look, as far as should it continue, what should you do with this? With the 2 of swords, I feel like just let it ride. I wouldn't do anything to end the friendship over that tension that we had on this trip. I feel like with the 2 of swords, that card has such silence. It's peace, but it's like peace with a little bit of tension to it. And I feel like really the temperance card is saying, like, be patient, give it time. Don't do anything drastic about this. You don't have to end the friendship. You don't have to push to repair anything. You just have to like kind of take that in, acknowledge it, and just say, okay, let's see what happens next. So that's what I get. But
did you say you got the 5 of cups?
Yeah.
That's what I got in my last reading. And look, I got the 5 of swords. 5 is, 5 is that chaos number, and it's change. And in this card, there's chaos. I like how the gold foil does these rings in this particular card here, the chaos going on and the clouds and everything like that. So that's, maybe what was happening there. But, I think it gets better. Like the 10 of wands. Okay, so your friend or you or both of you, there's something overburdened, that's like weighing on you guys, that might be a cause here. But then I get the 10 of cups, and both these cards are 10s, which is new beginnings, which is the energy of the date today. But also 10s in tarot are overkill sometimes, so maybe a breather is needed. Maybe, I don't know, but the overall feeling with this being the last card, 10 of cups, I think the relationship will get back there. So I hope that helped you out, Laura. I think that was Laura, right? And The next one is the Shami. Is my boyfriend's intuitions are true for me? Is he playing with me? Oh, I think she means, is my boyfriend's intentions towards me? I think that's what she means. Let's pull some cards on that, and we will take a look. Oh, interesting. So the 4 of cups, you're feeling a little bit apathetic about it. I think what the problem is with you is that it's not him and his intentions. It's more the speed. I feel like it's the speed at which things are happening. And then I get the 6 of swords, which is slow progress towards the goal, but it's slower progress. He's showing up as the Knight of Pentacles, which is the slowest moving of the 4 knights. I really think that's what the problem is here. Okay. And so I think his intentions, to answer it directly, your question, his intentions are true. It's just that he's moving at a slower pace than you would like to see. Let's see what Mary's getting though.
Right. So are his intentions true? here's the thing, the central card that I get is a star card, you know, and so that's a great card for one thing, and in this case, I don't see anything saying that he's being deceptive or that he's not being honest with you about his intentions. I do have the the 5 of Cups comes up again above that star card, and I feel like it's less about his intentions and kind of along the lines of what Dax is saying about your expectations. So one, yeah, maybe things aren't moving as quickly, but also maybe you're not getting everything you want out of this right now, you know and he may very well have good intentions, but at the same time, there's like something with that 5 of Cups where it's like adds a little bit of a letdown, that crying over spilt milk card. So I feel like, a good thing would be to kind of examine like what can you really reasonably expect from him based on everything about kind of where he's at in his life, what the job situation is, money, whatever, you know, what is he capable of, you know? And is it enough for you? Is it fulfilling or not? You
Mm,
know, because sometimes, we can be in a good relationship with a really good person, but for some reason it's not, you know, it's not setting our heart on fire. So that's something to look at and
mm.
think about what you really want, and is that is he it, you know?
Yep.
But I don't think he's lying to you. So that's a good thing. He seems like he is being honest with you. Hope that helps.
Hope that
Thanks for the question.
helps. Next, we got Charlotte. We got swinging back around. By the way, if you're
Mm,
new or if you haven't noticed, check out Mary's really cool paintings back there by that
thanks.
famous artist, Mary Brown. Yeah. And, and I got to say, once
That's
again,
great.
I said it in the beginning of the show, but I'm so glad that the Astro Clock is back because it was kind of, it just was missing. It'd be
Right.
like if my stormtrooper helmet coffee cup didn't show up, everybody be like,
Oh,
where'd the stormtrooper go? It's kind of like the same thing.
wouldn't be the same. Yeah.
But look at
Yeah.
those paintings, everybody. Check that out.
Thanks.
So here's Charlotte's question.
Mm,
Will I step out of my own way and have a productive week?
mm.
That's a nice little
Wait,
question.
that's a good question. Will I get out of my own way? Hmm. Um, let's see what comes up here. And will Charlotte get out of her own way and have a productive week? Oh, Charlotte, 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 Charlotte. Look, you know who gets to make the decision on that? You do. You do. Getting out of your own way. I get the devil card here. Okay. And I also get the 7 of Wands. It comes up right with it. And the Knight of Pentacles and the 6 of Cups and the King of Cups. Charlotte. Yeah, you can get out of your own way. What is it that is stopping you from doing it? With the 7 of Wands, sometimes we can be like so guarded and so defensive and thinking like, okay, I'm just gonna kind of stay in this comfort zone kind of pattern that I'm in. The Knight of Pentacles, I feel like this is the salt of the earth. Charlotte, you're like the salt of the earth, but it's a slow moving energy. Where's the va va boom? Where's the excitement? Get excited, let your guard down a little bit. Whatever it is that you're like attached to, let it go. and then you can be productive, but you've got to take the action to do it. The cards, of course, say it's possible, but even without the cards, it's possible. And instead of like saying, like, will I get out of my own way? Say, I will. Make it an affirmation. I will get out of my own way. I don't care what I usually do. I'm letting it go. I got to be productive this week. I got to get it done. So that's my advice to you. But let's see what Dax has for you.
Yay. So, just Wheel of Fortune. Yeah. There you go, Charlotte. That's the answer to your question. Absolutely. You can get out of your own way. It came up earlier in the show. It's all about setting the intention. It came up in a recent reading and also the very beginning of the show. Set that intention. Knight of Wands here. Now, it doesn't mean there won't be some balancing that needs to be done with the Two of Pentacles here. You'd have to balance some things around and everything, but set the intention, make it something you're passionate to get accomplished, and it will happen. There you go. All righty. And then we got I think time for one last question, which was that Johnny Blake. Remember I mentioned earlier, we want to get
that's a cool name.
Yes, I love it.
All right, Johnny Blake. I love it. It's like a movie star name.
Well, as soon as I saw it written down in the chat, his name, I thought of Robert Blake.
Yeah, I thought of Johnny Depp.
Oh yeah, see, you thought of Johnny Depp, I thought of Robert Blake. I'm old too, so I'm I'm thinking of Beretta. Don't do the crime if you can't do the time. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so he asks, oh, this is an interesting one. So, do you see me and Lisa getting back together after 18 years of marriage, 2 divorces? She's a Virgo and I'm a Scorpio. Well, there's the problem right there. You're a Scorpio, but
I'm a Scorpio. Hey.
I'm just kidding. I am, despite popular belief,
don't make me sting you.
when you're a tarot reader and a numerologist, that does not mean that you follow astrology, which I absolutely do not. Let's see here. I'm trying to see. God, I don't know, Johnny. I don't know. Boy, we're getting the 5 of Cups again, the crying over spilt milk card. The central focus card is the 10 of Swords. Typically when this card shows up in this type of question, it's like, stop stabbing the dead horse. It is dead. It is final, fini, over kind of thing. But when I look at how the spread's coming out, and I did this as a yes, no, and so the moon card's yes, 5 of Cups no, 10 yes, Ace of Cups could go either way, and the 9 of Cups, which is typically a no, but it's the wish come true card. So what's going on here? The trajectory right now is it ain't going anywhere. However, got the Ace of Cups, new possible beginnings in romance, and the 9 of Cups, the wish come true card. I mean, if this is both your wish, what you want to happen, this is the thing though. 18 years, divorces. Do you guys have kids too? A reconciliation cannot be based on the previous relationship. Anything new has to be new. Okay. So is the possibility there? Yeah, it's there. But man, with, between the moon card and the 5 of Cups and the 10 of Wands, 10 of Swords. This is like the central focus card. That's the main focus. Yeah. However, let's see what Mary's getting, because maybe she's got a little brighter outlook on it. I tried to inject a little possibility anyway.
I think the possibility is always there. But sometimes we don't help ourselves when we're just like sort of holding on too tightly to, kind of the idea of it, right? So there's a Four of Pentacles, and in the Surrealist tarot, you can really, well, I don't know if you can. You can really see that this person is well, I'll let you know, it's surrealism, people. And you said the moon card, and they all have like sort of moon faces or whatever. I don't know. I love this deck. It's so wild. But that Four of Pentacles, it's like we're holding on to it. So I agree with Dax in saying that, like, if we're going to do this again, it has to be a new relationship. There needs to be communication involved about it. What do we really want? What's the goal in reuniting if we do that? We got to be talking to one another for anything to happen. And, the 10 of Cups comes up in the past position, so my goodness, that much time and experience with somebody, it's not like there aren't feelings there. It's not like there isn't a connection. Yeah, that's connections there, but how we want that to turn out, reuniting, why did it end? I think it's worth examining, because I did get the World card, right? And that came up first. And for me, the World card is that idea because, the world, the earth rotates, it orbits, all of that stuff, that idea of things coming back around. So to me, a lot of times I do see the World card as a card of reuniting, but at least in this case, all I'm seeing right now is reuniting in the way that we're communicating, and maybe we're talking a bit about our feelings. And the last card underneath everything is saying, like, hey, Four Cups. What are you not looking at with this idea? What is the thing that we don't want to address? Because I feel like put all the cards, literally the cards, put all your cards on the table. If both of you can do that and say, like, okay, if we do reunite, how do we make it work this time? And, acknowledge what didn't work last time and make it, brand new. We're hitting the reset button and starting fresh, so that's what I get. Yeah, it's possible, but there's a lot of work to be done to make it happen. So I hope that helps. Thanks for the question. I think you're muted, Dax. I don't hear you.
I
now
was.
I hear you.
I was crinkling up some stuff, and I put myself on mute while I was off camera, so I didn't disturb you. And I forgot to come off mute there. But Johnny says, yeah, we have 2 boys, and she knows that I want a fresh start. And so, my
Good.
whole thing is that fits in perfect with what you said. And
Yeah.
but number 2, you want a fresh start. Does she want a fresh start? Number 3, like I said, it's got to be new. So in other words,
Yeah.
you don't get back together because of the kids. You don't get back together because you had a long relationship before. You only get back together if it's because you as an individual and her as an individual fall back in love or are in love with each other and want it. It has nothing to do with the past, has nothing. Well, we have 18 years under our belt. It don't matter if it's 18 days or 18 years. If you don't make it a new relationship,
yeah,
it ain't gonna work.
And that you can't, it's very hard to go through 18 years with somebody, have 2 kids and everything, and not feel something. Of course you feel these feelings. Of course she has feelings for you too. Yeah. It's just, does it work as a relationship for both of you now? Is that what you both want? And how do we, kind of start fresh so we're both happy?
Yep.
We want to be happy.
And Laura says back to Johnny, good luck, Johnny. I hope it works out for you. That's so really nice. I really want to.
I do too.
Yeah. And I really want to thank Laura, for being there and being the guide for the people in the chat. Yeah, our chat monitor, Yeah, Charlotte does that sometimes too, and Ellie does it sometimes. By the way, Charlotte says, thanks, Dax, and Mary. There's two of me in here.
Two
Anyway,
Daxes, wonder. You're welcome, Charlotte.
so she said, perfect answers, exactly what I needed to hear. I will be putting that segment on repeat all week. I love you guys.
Wow.
That is
We love
really
you too.
high
Stay
fives.
out of your own way, Charlotte. You
Yeah.
can do it.
Oh, by the way, Shar, these are my new glasses. I said at the beginning of the show, but you weren't here. What do you think?
Snazzy.
I got to get everybody's opinion. Laura, everybody. Ellie's not here today, I don't think. Anyway, but we are at the end of the show, and it was fun. We got to get out of here, though.
Yeah.
So we'll be back on Saturday, and
I had to think about that. What day is it?
Well, I was thinking. I was trying to think if there was any other shows that I'm forgetting or something like that, but a lot of the shows are like on hiatus and everything. But there is the Magic Universe show coming up on Sunday. We'll be back on Saturday. Then Gary's workshop will also be on that Sunday. So I just wanted to re-mention that. And there's Ellie.
Ellie.
Hi, Ellie. I didn't know you were here. Maybe she's just been listening the whole time and I totally missed her come in or something. Anyway, we're going to get out of here and we will see you on Saturday, right?
Yes. Bye, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks for tuning in. Woo-hoo. That was good.
That was fun.
Yes, we had